Welcome to SolFul Connections, where we skip the small talk and head right into the soul talk. I'm Amanda Solar, and each week we share the kinds of stories that remind us we're not alone. It's about being human, raw and unfiltered, just real talk. Let's connect.
Connection.
I am here with a repeat offender. He's a repeat guest on the SolFul Connections podcast. And my guest today, Chuck Pressler. Well, you were on, Chuck, in the early days of the podcast, so I'm so excited and happy to have you back. Chuck is the head of the Central Bucks Emergency Services, a role he has held, I think, for over 2 decades, but I could be wrong.
You're right.
But before we jump in, I want to just ask you, what has made you smile this week? What has been like a moment of joy or happiness?
Sunshine.
Sunshine.
We love sunshine and warm weather.
Yeah, it's coming. I have to believe. So Chuck, can you just share a little bit about what you were doing before? Wait, I'm going to interrupt myself and just tell you that I got this nice little drink of water that I put right to my right, and my cat just came over and she drank out of it. So, Chuck, what is up with that? Anyway, I want to know, what were you doing before your role today? Can you share a little bit about that?
I was working as a paramedic.
And what led you to that? Was that something that you always wanted to do? Where did that stem from?
I don't really know. And I've been asked that a lot. How did I get there?
Yeah.
And it was one of those things. I think late 80s, 80, somewhere out there, late 89, maybe, where I just happened to see an ambulance on the road. And I was like, I wonder what they do.
Wow.
And I started asking questions, learning things, and started volunteering and getting certified. And in 1990, I made it a career.
I think that is emblematic of who you are, because I was thinking about this, knowing that you and I were going to be talking, and you do have a protective instinct that is noticeable. It's something within you where I don't know why, or what that's about, or if that's even accurate. But I can say when you're around you, you feel like, okay, this guy, he's going to take care of it. What is that? Do you know? Have you thought about that? Is that accurate?
I remember that discussion, and I think it's more instinctive.
Yeah.
It's what's in me.
It's a part of you.
Yeah, it's just who I am from everything I've done, military service to even before that, Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts and athletics with being on team sports. And I think it was just a driving force of being part of something, which in the military, you're part of something.
Mm-hmm.
And a unique group of people. And when you come out, you still look for that urge to be a part of something that matters.
Wow.
I think it would be similar to the military, as you're a few, but you're a group that becomes, your community's people.
Yeah.
We're the ones that step up when it's time.
Yeah.
And I saw that in emergency medical services, an EMT, paramedic, as a fireman. And being around the people I was, you make these bonds, these unique bonds with people as you grow through the decades of the service. And, I still think highly of the people I was with in that time. And typical guy, if I see you once every couple of years or talk to you once a year or so, that's cool.
Yeah.
But we're all on our journey and we all have a task at hand, and that is to protect ourselves, our family, our community. And you need to do that the best that you can. And however you see that. And that's been part of my journey is, being level-headed, being physically fit and all that stuff, because you, Amanda, cannot rely on me to be there when you need if I'm not capable mentally and physically.
Wow. Well, one of the most interesting things we talked about when we recently talked, and Chuck, whenever I have a conversation with you, it is interesting. We talked about masculinity, and I wanted to kind of continue that conversation because right now in the world, there is so much talk about, what that means to different people. That word can be kind of loaded. You hear a lot about toxic masculinity.
Mm-hmm.
I was just talking to my husband this morning, and I said, if I just opened the newspaper, I would be really afraid of men if that's the only thing I knew,
Right.
what I read in the paper. Um, but I know really great men, in my world. So what I was wondering, I know this is a big question and maybe it's hard to answer, but like, what does that word mean to you?
I think to simplify it just means to be the protector. I think that's the best way I can simplify it is be the one with the level head that doesn't get absorbed by noise around you and be capable of doing things that need to be done when the time comes. However, helping people, protecting people, standing up for what's right, what you believe in, maintaining your beliefs around noise. I mean, you could probably really dive deep into the meanings of what it means to each individual.
Yeah.
But for me, I think that's a pretty good cover statement for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And what's interesting to me is that you have such a passion to help people in our community, and you have such a determination to be the best that you can be in that arena. And also, you have this beautiful and interesting side of you that is also dedicated to the arts and to, beekeeping. And you're so varied in your interests. Can you talk a little bit about your life as an actor?
It's interesting. It is. How I got there is interesting. The drawl of it
Yeah.
was interesting. And I found a side of me that had expanded my interest outside of everything else I was doing, that there could be a moment of something I'm doing that doesn't require chaos. It doesn't require, being on the edge for something. And it's kind of like a stepping out of one lifestyle into another where you can just kind of relax a little and enjoy something, whatever that something is. That happens to be one of those somethings for me, one of them.
Yeah.
And as I got involved and found that being part of projects that have meaning, telling somebody's story and what it means to bring that story to life genuinely. And, when there's stories worth hearing and worth others knowing about and seeing, it's a responsibility you take on to tell that story for that person. So I guess that kind of falls back into the other responsibilities now that I'm
That's what I
saying
was
it out
thinking.
loud.
You're so clear in your mission, it all
Yeah.
lines in. Do you remember the first time when you were a boy, were you thinking, oh, I would love to be an actor? Or were you passionate about movies? When was that? How did you make that entry into that world of acting?
It was never an interest. I never thought about it until a later age. Um, and then when signs shot in Bucks County and they were just looking for real first responders to be in the background, it was like, wow, that'd be cool to try. And you try it and you get around the environment
Mhm.
and having the opportunity to speak to actors and seeing that they're normal people and
Yeah.
can have a good time on set and treat you like any other human being. It was, oh, this is pretty cool. I want to try some more of this and see what it's like. And it's been an interesting journey. I've got to meet a lot of fantastic people that I've seen on screen for forever that I was fans of, and to have conversations with them, and they're just normal everyday Joes, and it's okay to have an interest in acting, and it doesn't mean it has to change you or you have to change to be part of that. So I can do it and be myself.
Do you have a favorite moment or a moment that just sticks out in that acting journey?
It was a conversation with Mel Gibson.
Really?
Yeah. And that is what opened my eyes to the entire I owe everything that started me down that path to him.
Really?
Yeah, I had a really long conversation with the man. A very frank conversation. And for a couple days I was able to continue talk back and forth, and we kind of goofed around, and he was just like one of the guys and just goofed around with you and had a good time. And yeah, those conversations led to, well, this ain't such a bad idea. Why not try it? Kind of thing. And being able to speak to the director for a moment and some other actors, and
Yep.
that's how we got here.
Yeah. And you work on that craft too, just like you work on anything. You seem like that's part of your like personal brand as well, that
It
when
is.
you do something, you don't kind of just casually do it. You really seem to want to work on the craft of whatever it is that is intriguing to you or is calling to you. Would that be fair to say?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because, I mean, for me, you got to be 100%. Otherwise, it's not fair to the people around you you're working with. It's not fair to an acting coach. It's not fair to your acting colleagues and your acting friends.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, it's, if you're going to do something, you got to do it right.
Love it.
And fortunately for me, everybody basically uses me for who I am in life in one fashion or another, and I can be me in what I
Yes.
do. So I don't have to. It's not a stretch for me to fill some roles, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's natural.
So the other thing that we kind of talked a little bit about was the role of mentorship in you.
Mhm.
And I've talked with another guest about that. And I think it's interesting. Not everybody is called to mentor, and not everybody sees that as part of um, an aspect of their life, but you do. You seem to. Can you talk about what that means to you and the role mentoring has in your life?
Sure. It's you reflect back on who were specific people that may have mentored. That's how I looked at it.
Yeah.
What did I pick up in life that I carry with me today that you might not have appreciated when you were younger? And then everything you do in life, who were those particular people that carried you along the way and helped you grow in whatever facet it was, military to first, emergency services, EMS, fire, uh, getting involved with other things and beekeeping,
Mhm.
and to me, I felt that if somebody's or a group of people throughout your life are giving you something, you should be giving something to others to help them grow as well. And I started taking that very seriously. And motivation's important. Understanding why we think the way we do and what directions to take, should always have an open mind to receiving that, to understand where they are and where they should take that, and learning to analyze your thoughts, and rather than being reactive to everything that comes to mind, and learning to think, why are you thinking the way you are?
Mhm.
And is it good or bad, or what's your mindset? I mean, think about the things that, wow, I wish I knew when I was a kid that I know today.
Yeah.
So I press that upon others to listen. I've been down that road. Here's what I've learned. Take it for what it's worth, but
Yeah. Would you feel comfortable sharing anyone who who has made an impact on your life?
Well, I think the one that stands out most is, and I think that's how it should be, is your father. I mean, I learned things as a kid that really don't exist anymore. Not in the way they did when I was little. Uh, Gardening your own food,
Mhm.
fishing your own food, hunting and butchering your own food, things like that.
Yeah.
Hard work,
Mhm.
getting dirty, hard labor. Those were things to learn to be appreciated at a young age, whether you did or not. And I not didn't necessarily always when I was younger, but it grew to me. But I carry skills now that a lot of people don't have, and I didn't realize a lot of people don't have that until you start to experience the world on a wider view and understand that these are skills that are unique. Just as an example, those skills are unique, and people should learn some things. What's
Well,
the
that's interesting too, because you have a busy job.
Mhm.
Emergency services is a busy job. And yet when you go home, you have a lot of work to do, right?
Yeah,
Because you can you talk a little bit about that?
sure, sure. We have a little farm, cows, goats, donkeys, chickens, my dogs and cats and all that. So they're fun. It's work, it's labor, and
It is labor.
it's got to be a passion to do because it requires, again, you got things you need to protect. You got animals you got to protect, take care of, healthcare needs, whatever that means. And it's another sense of responsibility that you have to layer into your life.
What do you get from that? Because it is, I would think there would be a part of you. I don't think there is with you, Chuck. But if I were working, doing what you're doing during the day, I would want to go sit on the couch, eat Cheetos, and watch Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. But I don't see you doing that. So,
Now,
what do you get from, you know, caretaking your animals and your land, and what does that give you?
I think a sense of pride, sense
Mhm.
of ownership.
Yeah.
I mean, the animals certainly were not my choice. They were my wife's choice, but um, that's part of my role is you support that. You be supportive of that and you take on
Nice.
responsibilities for that. And sometimes there's things you got to do that are hard decisions and you step into those roles when you need to.
Yeah. Nice. Um, Actually, you just made me do it like a mental digression because I was thinking, our dog was our choice. It was not my husband's choice, and we
Right.
hoisted. And then she decided when she first came here that she loved him best, which was such a blow. But I worked my way into her heart. But what, so your wife has this passion for animals, but you seem to also have a passion for animals. At least I've seen your dogs and they just seem very connected to you.
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
they're your family. They're your kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would avoid them just because the end game always sucks.
Yeah. That's true.
So, I mean, in my world, I would avoid that because
You
just go.
already have that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But they're great. They're great to have. They're fun. And, they ask nothing from you really, but give everything they have to you. So, you know, you got to respect that and enjoy every moment that you have with them.
So
I
what?
mean, I even feel that way about my bees. So,
Oh, yeah. So talk a little bit about what got you into beekeeping and what do you love about it?
uh, again, I was just curious.
Mm,
I was just curious. Went down that path, learned how to do it, and just fell in love with it. And understanding how valuable they are and how unique they are and how capable they are. And learning that at the end of the day, we don't have control over them. They know how to do things way better than we do. And if you I entered it like a partnership as a small beekeeper, small time. And I just basically let them do what they need to do, and I make sure that they stay safe and healthy. I don't have to do the work for them. They do it all.
Chuck, what trait or traits do you love in other people? Like, what is a trait that you think, yeah, I like that, or that could be my friend?
It's really stand-up honesty.
Yeah.
That's what comes. Direct honesty.
Hmm.
Sugarcoating don't fly with me.
Yeah.
I am usually pretty direct with everybody with what I'm thinking. Good or bad.
Yeah.
Because there's no time in life
Yeah.
to dance around things softly or to be, listen, this is, you see the business I'm in.
Yeah.
There's no time for making small talk or
Yeah.
dancing around emergencies. Let's
Yeah.
put it that way. You got to take the moment and you got to solve the problem and move forward. And that's how, just basically, I guess that's just how I deal with my life. You face a problem, I don't dwell on anything. I don't get upset or angry. It's just have the conversation, get past it, move on. I don't have time to dwell or dance around things or
Hmm.
hear people, take an hour to tell me something that could have taken 3 minutes. I don't have time for that.
So, how do you self-care? Because you are reminding me that you're in a business that sees injury and death and pain and sorrow and all the things. How do you not take that home with you? How do you kind of restore your own, I don't know, self-preservation?
That's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough because the reality is we live with this forever. You
Yeah.
cannot change that. You can't erase it. That's a reality. And I try to make sure I discuss that with others in the business, even the younger ones, and have
Mm.
conversations with them when we see some hard things. But to understand that it's not going to go anywhere. I can tell you things that I've experienced over a 30 some year period, and they're never erased. It's coming to terms with our role in the reality. I think it's tough. It's
Yeah.
tough. And, being part of, first in, taking warm calls from first responders that are struggling and sharing your stories with them and helping them through that moment and helping them process what they've experienced. I think that's vital that, we have more of us out there too who have been through the downs and the ups and how we got to where we are and help them get to where they need to be. Because at the end of the day, if we can't process this and move forward with it, we're in a world of hurt if people can't handle this and they walk away.
Yeah.
And I get, I guess a fair and honest statement is we've learned how to numb it,
Yeah.
accept it, and just keep moving forward and not dwell on things. It's it's hard for everyday community members to understand that. Everybody experiences their own personal loss, their own personal grief, and however they deal with that or experience it, and they will remember that. Now you times that by 5,000, 10,000, and some of the most chaotic, critical, horrific things you can ever see in life. So I always try to, when I speak publicly in groups and stuff like that, is to understand sometimes you need help and an ambulance shows up or a police officer or fireman. They might not always appear sympathetic.
Right.
And that's
That's their self-preservation, maybe, or what they just came from, or
exactly, you can never share that. You're not going to tell somebody, oh, I just came from XYZ, so don't expect me to be nice. That's not how we operate. But
right.
sometimes it's not easy to keep a big smile on your face
Yeah.
in between incidents, especially if you're running, you know, 10 emergencies back to back and all kinds of different things. Because you can literally go to somebody that's had a sniffle after, seeing a deceased person. And it's just,
Yeah.
it's interesting.
Yeah.
And you really got to want to do this to do it. It's an interesting group of people. I highly respect the people that come in to do this business. Knowing where I came from, I started that way. And I want to make sure that they can have a long career without having the career itself tear them down.
Yeah. Are you seeing any kind of a decline in, or is it just the same people who are willing to step into this role? Go up and down.
It's difficult to get people to do this business. And for, especially for the time when I started, it didn't pay very well at all.
Yeah.
It paid garbage, less than fast food workers. And, my goal throughout my career, and I was very fortunate to grow in it, was always if I grew in leadership, that it would be my number one goal was to get these people compensated for truly what they're doing.
Yeah.
And that's hard to accomplish. It's hard to accomplish.
Shouldn't be, but
I was able to get us there, but the lack of overall support and understanding of what it takes to do this job and what it takes to finance this job, to fund it, it's difficult. And it took way too many years to get us to where we are, so that you come in and emergency services, like anything, it's only as good as you are good that next day. And whether it's, something gets you and hurts you in your mental health, or you lift one heavy patient too much and you're done lifting for the rest of your life.
Wow.
I mean, this job can
end
as quick as it starts for some.
Yeah. So this podcast, SolFul Connections, is kind of under my larger umbrella called Soulful Living. When you hear the phrase soulful living, Chuck, what does that conjure up for you?
I'll shoot right from the top of my head. Keep your group small, keep them real, be around people that actually care about you and care whether you win or lose. Strong or weak, if they can pick up the phone when you're successful, they should be picking up the phone for you when you're at the bottom of the barrel. Those are the only people I want around me. That's how I keep it. And just do the right thing. Do the right thing for yourself and for those that are around you. And you see that, that's been a good experience with being part of Rotary, is you're here for the bigger picture. Yeah. My business is here for the bigger picture. Emergency services is for others. It's not for ourselves. And if you're in it for an ego, you're in the wrong spot. Because at the end of the day, people are going to count on you when they need you most. And you got to be able to step up. When the world is at its worst, you got to be at your best. And I want to be around people that support each other. We support each other through highs, lows, rainy or sunny, it doesn't matter. Yeah. And as long as we can be strong for each other and you can count on the people that you surround yourself, that's all that's important. And that should get you through life with a smile on your face, good or bad. Yeah. Take care of yourself, take care of your people, and life should be good.
Well, I think that's a perfect spot to end it on, Chuck. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming on the podcast, for being such an early supporter of the podcast and all of my crazy endeavors.
I just want to see you successful.
I appreciate that. And I appreciate what you do in the world. I like knowing that you're in the world. I really do. Everything from your work with emergency services to your work in the arts, to your work with the land, all of it is fascinating and inspiring. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me again.
Hey, thanks so much for listening. Thank you for being a valued part of the SolFul community. Thank you to William Aronson for writing, recording, and producing the SolFul Connections theme song. And finally, always know you're not alone. We are connected. We're all in this thing together, and you and your story are important. Let's just keep on connecting.